thinking about what happened in the, in the Bible again. I remember, according to the verse, Psalms again, in Psalms 139, verse 13 to 14, it says this way: If you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah, you formed me and my innermost parts in my mother's womb. Yes, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. This is a prayer that thank you for forming me in my mother's womb. I will remain faithfully, and I will adore thee, Lord, because I thank you for forming me and upholding me and securing me in my mother's womb 9 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know how easy it is to have your cell phone in your pocket. I don't know, it is getting smaller these days, but it will never go. I don't think you want to walk away from the house without knowing that, hey, you have to check to make sure your phones are with you. You have to check to make sure that you have your key, you have not forgotten anything. But think about bearing a child. I don't know the weight of a child in the womb. I'm not an expert in that field, but definitely the unborn child must be at least 3 kilograms for a woman to carry wherever she goes for 9 months. Yeah, and I'm not talking about the pains and the anguish moments of trying to give birth to a child. She is supposed to be a diva, and we're supposed to pay tribute to mothers and respect them. Just the way we are celebrating Christmas today, we are paying tribute to Mary. We are respecting Mary, we are honoring Mary, thanking her for being the custodian and the mother of our Lord and personal Savior, Jesus Christ. So, again, I have to continue to say, like, I remember very well in my country, Nigeria, I remember when a mother has, at a time that a father or mother will say, hey son, you have grown up, you have become a man now, you have grown to the age of maturity, now you have to take a wife for yourself, because I want to see my grandchildren. Yeah, think of it, if it happens that we have taken a wife according to the desire of our parents, and then 6 months, 7 months, the child was not born. I mean, my wife has not conceived. People will start, saying one or two things as far as Africa is concerned, as far as my home is concerned. And I know it's never easy for such kind of couple to handle such a situation. We are mother-in-laws are now watching. I don't know how they are able to check to see how how a woman is pregnant or not, but they have a way. Mothers know best. They know how to assess that kind of situation. And this woman has come here since 9 months ago. She's not pregnant, and that man is in trouble. He has a lot of explanations to do why his wife has not taken in yet. So now that takes me to the story in the Bible in 1 Samuel about a man called Elkanah. This guy was married to Hannah. I was made to understand that Hannah was the first wife, but her womb was not productive. Yeah, probably she has been with her husband for years and they didn't conceive. And as a result of that, the man went and they took another wife, Penina. Penina came, and then maybe one after every year she has a child, and then she has many children, and then she began to turn to this other woman, Hannah. And yeah, the same thing that happens in my country and some other places when a woman has failed to conceive after marriage. Yeah, it happened. It started all the way. Is an attitude that has been long in existence. Yeah, so this woman was bitter, and then she was torn inside, and they began to pray relentlessly unto God to please give her a child. that just one, if you give me this child, I will dedicate this child unto thee, O Lord. So this was a prayer, and then this, you could hear the pain and the anguish of a mother, a woman, let me not say mother yet, a woman seeking the fruit of the womb. Yeah, it is something extraordinary. Until probably, we all know about what happened in that story when the child was born, and then she fulfilled her promise, bringing the child to walk in the house of God. Yeah, now this was how the importance of bearing a child as far as motherhood is concerned. It is a blessing. It is a wonderful thing to happen to any woman. So now we are celebrating Christmas. We are doing everything. Let's not neglect, let's not ignore Mama. Do good things that will benefit her, things that she will remember, and put a smile on Mother's face. Put a smile on Daddy's face. Remember, the Bible has made it that honor thy father and thy mother, so that their days will be what? Longer. So now I have to now go into my Bible again, and I will have to think about the role that was played by mothers. The role that sometimes I read those verses in the Bible, I felt like I want to cry. I felt so sorry. I felt so sorry that things like that happened, and it makes me to be able to respect mothers the more. So this one was taken from from 2 Kings, when a certain widow came to Elisha, and then this widow came there to Elisha, and Elisha, what can I do for you, woman? He said, a man that my husband was owing some money has come now to demand for the money. Yeah, okay. If it was to be me, I just know, okay, this woman, her husband died. I don't know if after the funeral of her husband, does she has anything left for her to maintain herself. Now your husband is owing me some money, I need you to pay. If you can't pay, please give me your 2 sons. Whoa. And the woman, Elisha said to her, what do you have? I have just a jar of oil. But God will be the provider. God will be the Alpha and Omega. He will never let his name to be dragged in the mud. God will never put a shame on anybody. God will forever point the light that will lead us out of darkness. In the time of sorrow, in the time of tribulations, in the time of need, God will always answer. Through his servants, God will come to our rescue. And God said Elisha said to the woman, go back home, go and gather to yourself every place you can get a jar. Borrow from your neighbors, get it everywhere, and fill those jars with oil. And then she went home with her son, and then she was able to gather the jars and then fill them. As she was, you can imagine the power of God. As this woman was filling from one jar into all the jars, she filled all the jars and took them to the market and sold them and gathered back the money and paid her debt. And then her children remained with her. This is the job of a mother. I know that today, as I speak, so many of our mothers in Africa and in other third world countries are managing. Some are frying fish, some are picking from the trash, some are doing all kinds of things to be able, some are using, like, I don't know, hawking some things, selling waters, anything you can think of, just to be able to put food on the table for their children. I respect them and I praise them. These are mothers. They cannot go home. They are doing some things. When I went to Africa, I saw women struggling. I respect them and I praise them. Please keep it up. God will give you the grace. God will give you the strength. Whatever you're doing to sustain your family, God will give you the strength and you will always survive. So when you see that kind of situation where women are trying their best, what we have to do is to encourage them so that they can be able to, have that courage to be able to continue in their struggles. So this kind of stories now was able to make us to understand how much intelligent God is in sustaining his own people from that jar of oil, from one jar of oil, she was able to be able to pay off the debt. She sold so many jars and then still have some jar with her, of course, and then be able to, one benefit was that she still have her children. That's how it is. To God be the glory. So, and then I will now go back again into the Bible. Now I read in Exodus chapter 2 verse 3, there was a woman called Jochebed. This woman was a Jew that had a child during the oppressive regime of Pharaoh, and all the male child was ordered to be killed. So you can imagine a mother thought wisely, and then what she's going to do to protect her own child. I am not going to watch and see my child taken and slaughtered. I'm going to do something. What I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to gather some reeds and then I'll make a basket, and I place my child there, and he's going to float. And this was how the child was Moses. This was how Moses' life was saved by this woman. And then she again knew that she is not going to leave the child at a place that maybe some creatures from the water could devour it, or maybe she put it and monitored it until at a place where the daughters of the king was coming to bed, so they would be able to discover this child, and they took the child and spared the child. And God gave his blessing that once God has ordained a person that this is going to be my servant, this person is going to work for me, there's no hiding place. No king will cut the person off. No oppression of the devil can stop what God has written. Moses was spared because God wanted to use Moses. God wanted to use Moses as a weapon to save his own children. So he was saved. He was taken into the house where he was protected, and he grew up there. This was according to the plan of God. So in again, I will have to continue as I read on into the Bible. So many verses was being directed to praise the role of women in childbearing and raising of children. It is something very, very recommended for women to be mothers. Not just be mothers that are responsible mothers. Take care of your children. And children, please take care of your mother. And I will now continue, and again in John chapter 2. Now, by this time, Christ has begun to do his job. He began to do the gospel which he was sent into the world. And those gospels include the sick got healed, the blind began to see, the leprosy was cleaned. Everything Christ was doing was to proclaim, to announce the power of God in this very earth we are staying today. It was not in any other place. But now I read an example of how a woman can also have authority, where Mary had authority over Christ. When they went to a wedding ceremony, and then the guests were there, they drinking, making merry, and then the drink was finished. And then the disciples was like, okay, what are we going to do? The wine is not enough. How can we do it? It was not like, okay, they can just go to Christ and announce to Christ, hey, do something. The wine is not enough. That was not what the disciples decided to do at that time. It takes the authority of a mother to confront to confront her own son, which was also understandable because Mary was the one that was sent to go to Christ and introduce the idea that announced to him that the wine is not enough for the guests, and Mary did that. So this is another example of how much important mothers are in our lives. So now, when Christ has done all the job and Christ has begun to reach the age, at which the appointed time has begun to come. So after going through the condemnation by Pontius Pilate, and he was on his way to be crucified, and I read also that there was at a time that Christ directed his comment to his mother, Mary, and this comment went like this: "Woman." It was not like Mary or Mary Magdalene. What, I'm not going to call you your name. The instruction was woman. That woman is not just specific. He didn't specify on one person. It is a collective description of mothers. Take care of your children. Take care of your son. And Christ turned back to his disciples who were present at that time. He said, "Guys, take care of your mothers." That was, I think it was the final instruction given to mothers and children. Children, take care of your mothers. Mothers, take care of your children. And that was it before Christ finally gave up on the cross. Yeah, so when Christ will never die because he is divine, he was sent by God. So during the time of his 3 days in the tomb, I read also that the women were going there, Mary Magdalene and Mary, Virgin Mary, Mary, the mother of Christ, was going there to anoint his feet, his body with oil, and yeah, that was the procedure at that time. So there was this time, and this was also the job given to women, given to mothers to do, to go to the tomb of Christ and they bless his body with oil. So probably when they go, there could be some men who will go there to help to roll the stone out so that they could gain entrance into the tomb. But at that particular day, they met the tomb open. Yeah, because they were wondering who is going to help to roll this stone out for us to go in. But behold, the stone, the tomb was open because Christ was not there anymore. And as you listen to me today, Christ is not going to be in the tomb anymore in your lives. The grave of Christ is not going to be there anymore, because when Christ was born, he was born. He was born into our life and he will never die. 3 days is not enough to hold the child of God. The child of God is not enough to hold him in the grave. 3 days was not enough. Is not enough, because Christ will never remain. That's not a place for God, for the child of God. And for you listening to me right now, if you believe and then you know, uphold Christ, hold by his feet, you are not going to remain more than 3 days in your own tomb, in your own grave. You're not going to be there. That's not a place for you, because Christ have come as a light of the world, and you will walk out of the darkness. The tomb where there is no light is not a place for you. You are going to remain at a place where there is light. You are not going to remain in the tunnel, because at the end of that tunnel there is the light for you. You will believe in Christ and God will shine his light upon you, and as you do so, God will bless you. God will guide you throughout the celebration of the Christmas, and as we proceed into the new year. I wish you all the best, and God bless. Thank you.